Mother saw her 10-year-old daughter washing her underwear. She thought she was having her period. Although the mother wondered why she came so early, but never thought badly of it. Until the day of the family gathering. A friend saw that Jill and Odette were very close. He couldn't help but remind Odette's father. "Don't you think it's strange that he's so close to your daughter?" The father listened, but explained for Jill. He only had 3 sons and always wanted a daughter, so it was only natural that he would be close to Odette. The friend didn't say anything. After a while, Odette came back to the bedroom from the pool. Jill followed her. He was playing with Odette's dolls. At that moment, Odette's father suddenly came in, questioned Jill about the doll game. When he couldn't answer, the father angrily knocked Jill to the ground. At that moment, Odette suddenly heard someone call her name. It turns out that everything just happened was a fantasy. Odette finally tries to say no. Jill immediately showed a hurt expression. "You don't like this game? Then why didn't you say no the first time?" The young Odette didn't know how to argue with him. Jill coaxed Odette into taking her to the bathroom, and so the young Odette. Jill's clutches were all over her. 8 years had passed. Odette had grown up. The unpleasant experiences of her childhood. Odette's psyche had become very distorted. Drinking XD had long been the norm for her. Perhaps this is the only way to close that unpleasant memory. The only thing that hasn't changed is her love for dance. The experienced teacher sensed something. After class, he left Odette alone. He asked her if she had any painful memories in her mind. Maybe she could talk to him about it. Odette said she had nothing to say. After graduation, she performed with dance companies all over the world, one performance after another, never stopping. She was so tired that she could fall asleep in bed. The stress and psychological torture. She thought about suicide numerous times. Odette found a psychiatrist, tried to talk to her about her tragic childhood. The doctor suggested that she could try to fall in love. It was then that Odette met her boyfriend. He was gentle and considerate, and their relationship grew quickly, but never took the final step. This makes the boyfriend very troubled, but Odette had something to say. She was afraid that if she told him, she would be rejected by him. On the advice of a psychiatrist, Odette took her boyfriend to meet her parents. The father was impressed by her boyfriend, but her mother was always trying to make things difficult for him. The mother also blamed Odette. Why did not contact with Jill? You know, when they were busy, Jill was the one who took you out. After it was over, the boyfriend broke up. He couldn't stand Odette's mother's mean-spiritedness. He was fed up with Odette's drinking and secrecy. He could sense that Odette's heart was closed. After being together for so long, he wasn't even sure if Odette really loved him. Watching his boyfriend's back as he left, Odette struggled to go to a therapist. The doctor told her that accepting everything was the beginning of relief, but it wasn't easy. 5 years had passed. With the doctor's persistent and uncompromising efforts to help her, Odette overcame her fears. She had to help herself to heal. She was going home to tell her parents what had happened to her, but then she runs into Jill's family, who are visiting. Jill now has a granddaughter. Odette is suddenly terrified. He would hurt the young child, so she mustered up the courage to tell her parents what had happened to her as a child. Her father blamed himself. For all those years, he had treated Jill like a brother, inviting him to dinner and weekend trips, and yet, right under his nose, hurting the daughter he loved most. The father wanted to kill Jill immediately. I've never seen such a disgusting mother.